Hey guys, what's happening? This is Ryan Yokome. Beside me is my beautiful better half, Chris.
Hey guys.
And obviously this is sort of like a special exclusive video. It's gonna be really real and it's gonna be really vulnerable. We're gonna share with you stuff we've never shared with anyone publicly before.
Oh.
Yeah. And so really, I mean, originally I was gonna do this video on my own, and then I asked Chris if she wanted to be in it, and she's like, yeah.
Here I am.
Sort of
I'm
resisted. We're supporting each other.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not a competition.
No. No. I'm supporting us.
God. Okay, let's try that again.
This
is about you and I. It's not about me.
Oh.
It's about us. It's not a competition.
No. But usually it's a competition.
But it's... Anyways. Okay. This video is going to be so raw and vulnerable, and it's going to be like nothing you've ever watched from us before.
Totally. Yeah, this is going to be a doozy.
Yeah, so, wow, where do we start? We have really, I mean, to lay it all out with you guys, we're really going to expose to what we've learned over the past few months about ourselves and, you know, the level of depth with each other and how that impacts helping other people. But really, we declared that this year would be the year of risks for us. And one of the risks that we're taking through, you know, my brand right now is being vulnerable. And so, like, you know, hon, that a lot of what I've done over the years is I've put videos out there that are trainings. Maybe you've watched many of them. And, you know, they're like, you know, how-to kind of videos.
Yeah.
But I didn't really ever expose, like, parts of myself that were really vulnerable or really open. It was sort of like, well, I'll share this with you, but then there's all this other stuff over here that I don't want social media to see, or I don't want the public to see. And I never went there until today. So now we're going into it together. So I asked Chris, I'm like, do you want to be in the video? She kind of was like, really?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's going to benefit somebody.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So here we are.
Yeah.
So I just declared, I said, moving forward, all of, I think we both declared this, right? All of our videos are just going to be what's going on in our life and just be totally open and real. So where do we start?
Well, I mean, I think a lot of this has been spurred from the Soulful Money Masterclass that Ryan and I run together with a whole bunch of fabulous small business owners. And right this week was the power of risk. So by us coming here and sharing this with you, this is a huge risk for us, but at the same time, us being vulnerable, and as we teach in our coaching, this is what allows you guys to really understand who we are, so we can all make a greater impact in the world.
Yeah.
And so this is the perfect week for all of us and everyone watching. It's just fitting perfectly. For our story, I mean, we've been together for 13 years. And everyone always asks. I just had a private call the other day with someone in our masterclass, and she said, where's the ring? Where's the babies? I'm gonna talk to Ryan next week and I'm gonna have a talk with him. And I mean, I get that a lot, and just to be honest and real, is we've had a lot of ups and downs. I mean, as any relationship did. I mean, there was times where we didn't know if it was gonna work, or we were like, heck yeah, let's just go get married. But we were just going through a learning process, right?
Yeah. I mean, it was like big learning process. And you know, I think one of the biggest things was Chris and I are very good with companionship. We're very good with friendship. We're really good with business together. Like, we're excellent with business together. But one of the areas that we struggled with was with intimacy. So we would like mask that part of ourselves that we didn't want to go into with like business success, or like just going out and having fun or whatever. Typically business success. Typically that's what we were really good at. And then it just hit the point, like you're saying, over the last 6 or 7 months, where we were just like pulled into going further with the relationship.
I think, I mean, the great thing about Ryan and I is we've always grown together. So we've always wanted to go into our stuff and work together. A lot of relationships do break off if one wants to go into personal development or understand themselves more. And we've always kind of supported each other along the way, even if we were at different, you know, levels or had different ideas or visions or whatever. We always had that. But in our line of work, we really talk about the shadow and the stuff within us that we don't want people to know.
Know or see, or we cover it up,
Totally, but that's what we do to ourselves. So that's what I was doing in our relationship.
Yeah, it's fucked up because that's what I was doing.
Yeah.
So it's like we wanted that. It's really about the connection and that, like, I mean, this whole video is about vulnerability, right? Like, we wanted that.
Yeah.
But you were covering it, I were covering it up.
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah. And I would be like, I don't need any of that stuff, but then I'll go watch The Notebook. You know, so it's like I did want it, but I didn't know, for like nothing against Ryan, it was me. Like, I didn't want to be open or share who I was in case of my shadows, which would have been exposed, abandonment, whatever it was. There was still an underlying commitment there. So if we didn't know that, we would never have been able to have gotten through.
And I think we got really pulled into being curious with it.
Totally.
And what it was is like, because by nature, Chris is very feminine and I'm very masculine. So I was like, you don't need to deal with that shit. Why do you need to go into that?
Yeah, he used to always say to me, just get over it.
Just get over it. Just change it. Just change your life.
Yeah.
And Chris was like, no, she wanted to be held and loved and like wanted me to be there with her, but I didn't understand that back then.
Yeah.
And then we, what happened is I hired Chris's coach, and it like opened up so much for me. It launched really my whole coaching business. And I mean, isn't it ironic that all of my private coaching clients are women? And it really opened me up to be more vulnerable with myself. And that allowed me to be more vulnerable with you. And I mean, like, the connection that we've had, like, now, today, is greater today than it has ever been. Ever been.
Totally.
In our whole time together.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, that all stems from working on a deeper level on ourselves with vulnerability and intimacy. And that was something that we were just like, we not only didn't want to go into it with our own self and also our relationship, but also just the world. Like, that's, I mean, this, to be totally truthful with you, this is what has created the business success we have as well, is learning to be vulnerable and open with other people. It's just that we weren't doing that to the depths of that we wanted with each other.
Oh, totally. Yeah. There's always been, I think, a level of, well, what's it called? It's like competition, but because we were so good in business together, it would, when we would run together really fast in business, it would keep us going. And I didn't know how to let that guard down. For me to be seen was my huge thing.
That's big.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have to think. Like, when you're hustling and you're so busy, you don't have to go into your shit.
No.
Because you could just mask it with work. And that's what actually a lot of entrepreneurs do, by the way.
Yeah.
And MLM owners. They just mask their stuff and they're super successful because that preoccupies their time. And the second that you stop, like when we would stop, or we'd have some failures, it was like, oh, well, now we gotta deal with our stuff.
Yeah. And it was hard.
Yeah.
To be okay, let's deal with it. So we've learned a way to be okay with it.
Yeah. Which is big. And I've learned to really be with Chris, you know, which was a new language for me. Like, to be with you and to have your needs met. Like, she would get so pissed off with me because I wouldn't give her any focused time. Like, we would spend all day together and then I'd come home and she'd be upset at something. Like, what's the matter, honey? Nothing. And then we go into it and she's like, well, you don't spend any quality time with you. I'm like, what the fuck? I just spent all day with you. And then it was like, but it wasn't, it was on the phone, or, you know, we were out with friends or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I never felt like I really had all of his attention always, because it was always somewhere else. But at the time I got it because you being so masculine and driven, you would just go, and it was all about business and the money and helping more people. And I never understood it because I'm like, well, if you could help all these people, what about me?
Yeah.
Why aren't you helping me?
Yeah, and that's something I'm still learning. That's still a new language to me where I'm like, okay, you know, I have to, because I'm so focused on the mission. Let's rock it. So I've learned that to, you know, set those boundaries and make sure that I'm helping you have your needs met as well.
Yeah.
Right? It's a big part of it. But I will say this, it's really funny because our businesses are growing and, you know, we're just super blessed with all these wonderful people that we get to work with, and we work together. We facilitate a coaching program together. We help each other with private coaching with clients. And what's really cool is what we've learned is like the stronger that our relationship has become, the bigger difference we've been able to make in other people's lives.
Yeah. The more open we've been with each other, the bigger difference that our clients now are open with other people in their lives, and just able to connect with us more, to have more radical change for them. So it's been a really cool process, because really it's so interesting, because when we started working on ourselves, going through like our shadows and bringing light to them, and together, that's when we really started stepping out into the coaching programs. And the coaching was almost like, okay, well now you're ready, and here's everything you wanted, because we're not masking anymore. So it's really interesting.
I'll tell you something funny. So I mean, Chris is like one of the reasons we do so well with that with the programs is because Chris is like my opposite. Like she's super feminine, right?
And I don't.
And we were getting intimate the other day. I won't go into details. Anyways, I could like feel her. Like I could feel her, like her being. I could feel you.
Right.
I know that sounds so crazy, right?
I don't know, not to me, but maybe.
Right, and so anyways, I told her this after, and it wasn't like physically, you know, when you're with someone you could physically feel them, but I could feel her energetic, like I could feel her soul, I could feel who she was. And I'd never felt that before with her. And what's ironic is I told her this, and then you said to me that you've always felt that.
Well, not always, but I have.
Felt that,
yeah.
Where I had never felt that
right.
before.
I'm a chick.
And so, but what my coach said to me is, because, you know, she says to me, yeah, you could leave Chris, but you'll just end up finding someone else with the exact same situation that will, because you're not dealing with your issue. You're not confronting it. So you're just going to get into another relationship with someone else and have the exact same thing come up. And I'm like, oh, okay. And that's when I was like, okay, there's something I need to go into with it. Because we have a contract. We have like a soul, they call it a sacred contract. Like we have a contract together, a spiritual contract. And it's just like, I think it's so cool. I remember years ago hearing in the book, I haven't read it, but Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus.
Yeah.
And John Gray talks about how we will just do that if we don't really confront what's going on in our relationship and improve it and heal it, then we'll just find someone else to do the same thing with. And we'll just run through that same cycle. And it's sort of like, but it's really what it is, it's learning to love yourself. And I remember him saying, I think it was an interview I actually listened to with John Assaraf, and he said how some people come to him, but then they'll get divorced, and then they'll fall in love with themselves once they're divorced. And he would say to them, well, wouldn't it have been amazing if you could have done that while you're in your marriage?
Yeah.
And I just literally feel like our relationship started 6 months ago. Is what I feel like. I feel like it's like a brand new relationship, and it's like I see you as a completely different woman, and I see you as like you're like a different person to me.
Yeah, that's so awesome. I mean, it really is comes down to self-love, really, and everything in your life to just have that connection and that appreciation. I said to one of my coaching clients the other day who said, I don't want to leave this relationship out of comfort, but it's like, how can you comfort yourself if you're not fully getting supported by Ryan? And so we had a Ryan peer relationship, but for me, I had learned to comfort myself in a way that I actually could take ownership for me and where I was going without having to rely or need Ryan so much.
That's a big one.
For a woman, it's huge to accept that I can do what feels right for me on my own, and then we're just here as support systems and love.
Yeah, you've done really well at that.
Thank you.
Yeah, Yeah, you're really in your power. So yeah, it's just we wanted to share this with you guys, and really as I guess just what's up,
just what's up,
and what's going on, and this is like it feels so liberating because I would have never shared this with anyone in the past, let alone online.
Yeah. This is gonna get a lot of views. I'm sure.
You're so funny. Yeah, so if you found this video beneficial in any way, I have no idea, this is not a normal sequence. Share it away with your friends, or share it publicly on your Facebook status or whatever. And let us know down in the comment section down below if you want to share your thoughts or your ideas or any resources that you can recommend us or that have helped you. I know there's 2 books I recommend down in the blog post here that you can see. They're both by David Data. The Superior Man, The Way of the Superior Man, that completely, I mean, I think you can contest, that completely changed my life. I really learned to embrace my mission as a masculine, and then also like really be there for Chris. And just skyrocketed my business. And then the other one is Dear Lover, which is sort of like the female version of The Way of the Superior Man. Chris calls it, what do you call it?
Your woman porn.
Woman porn. She calls it woman porn because it's geared towards a woman reading it, but I'm reading it to understand how to embrace the feminine. So there you go. There's 2 books that you guys can check out, and that's all we got for you.
That's so funny. It's so funny is that we would never have talked about any of this stuff like 5 years ago, and now it's like, whatever. Yeah. Talk about being vulnerable.
So there you go. Thanks, babe.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right, everyone. We will talk to you guys in a bit. Enjoy your day.